With the Galaxy J8, the company is bringing the Infinity display, popularized by its S series of smartphones, to the masses. It has a big 18.5:9 display, dual camera setup at the back, and face recognition technology. But did Samsung cut corners while making the Galaxy J8? We are about to find out. The Samsung Galaxy J8 is a good looking smartphone. It has a big 6-inch display that makes the body tall and narrow. Now, while it has the Infinity tag, the display on it isn't curved at the edges like the one on the Galaxy S9 and the S9 Plus. Samsung has opted for a polycarbonate body and it feels well built. Now, it weighs 177 grams, which is not exactly light, but the weight is well distributed. The J8 looks like a Samsung Galaxy A6 Plus that underwent a cost-cutting exercise, as the placement of the buttons, the camera module, the fingerprint scanner are identical. We found that the speaker is easy to cover while gaming or watching videos in landscape mode. There are two SIM tray slots on the phone. The first is for the SIM1 slot, whereas the other is for the second SIM and a dedicated microSD card slot. Samsung has opted for a microUSB port and has retained the 3.5mm headphone jack. There are headphones bundled in the box. Samsung has succeeded in making a good looking device, but the hardware inside leaves a lot to be desired. The smartphone is powered by an octa-core Snapdragon 450 processor that is clocked at 1.8 GHz. Now, we have observed the same processor in the Xiaomi Redmi 5 that costs half as much. The Galaxy J8 has 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of internal storage, out of which 51 GB will be available to the user. Samsung's much advertised Infinity display is an AMOLED panel sporting HD+ resolution, which is lower than what its competitors offer at this price point. Now, even cheaper smartphones like the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 and the Realme One do offer full HD+ panels. Now, the AMOLED panel on the J8 has a vivid output, but because of the lower resolution, you can notice pixels. Samsung doesn't offer the always on display feature, which could have been useful. The J8 also misses out on an ambient light sensor, a shocking omission which forces you to change display brightness manually every single time. It also misses out on a magnetometer and a gyroscope, putting the Galaxy J8 at a major disadvantage compared to its competitors. Samsung has packed in a 3500 mAh battery but does not ship a fast charger in the box. The Galaxy J8 runs Android Oreo with Samsung Experience UI on top. It comes loaded with a host of Google and Microsoft apps which can only be disabled but not uninstalled. Samsung also has its own apps like Samsung Max, Samsung Mall and Samsung Pay Mini. One of the few features that Samsung has introduced to the J series is chat over video, which allows users to chat using WhatsApp and the default messaging app while watching videos. We used this feature with YouTube and while playing a video in the stock player, and it worked as advertised. The Samsung Galaxy J8 has enough performance to deliver a smooth experience while scrolling through the menus. We did not find any lag or stutter when launching multiple apps and multitasking. We did see a slight slowdown when we slide from the home screen to access Bixby. Samsung's inbuilt face recognition is slow to unlock the phone, and the fingerprint scanner isn't a relief either. While Clash Royale ran without any issues, Asphalt 9 had jagged edges when played at highest settings. After using WhatsApp, camera, watching videos from the device and on YouTube, a bit of gaming and Google Maps resulted in close to 50% battery charge left by the end of the day. Idle battery drain is quite low, and the smartphone has an app power monitor that puts unused apps to sleep to minimize battery drain. You should be able to get close to 2 days with light to medium use. The Galaxy J8 features a dual camera setup consisting of a 16 megapixel primary camera with an f1.7 aperture and a secondary 5 megapixel camera with an f1.9 aperture. At the front, it has a 16 megapixel camera with an f1.9 aperture. Both the camera setups have a single LED flash. Samsung offers a lot of modes in its camera apps such as Live Focus, Beauty, Night, Panorama and Sports. It also offers a Pro mode that lets you control parameters like ISO, white balance, exposure and metering. The stickers mode lets you use AR stickers for both the front and the rear cameras. There are a lot of stickers and stamps already available, and you can download more from the camera app itself. One of the first issues we encountered while shooting photos is the ability of the Galaxy J8 to lock focus, as it kept hunting for focus. The output is good and has good dynamic range, though objects at a distance lose out on detail. Macro shots aren't easy, as you need to tap multiple times to get the phone to focus where you want. When it does manage to get a focus lock, color accuracy is a bit off and a few colors appear oversaturated. Samsung has offered live focus mode for the rear camera, which helps click bokehs, making use of the secondary 5-megapixel camera. You get a slider using which you can determine the amount of blur you want to add to the background. Photos have good edge detection, but we observed that the smartphone fails to detect the gap between the person's arm and the body while taking a picture. You also get the option to change the level of blur after the image is shot, or add effects to the background in the gallery. If you like editing and adding filters to your photos, you will like this option. The smartphone takes advantage of the f1.7 aperture in low light and keeps the ISO in check. It also drops the shutter speed, so you need to keep your hands steady. Photos clicked at night appear good when viewed as it is, but zoom in and you will notice a loss in details. The beautify mode helps smoothen the output, but still makes it look natural. Video recording maxes out at 1080p for both the selfie and the rear camera. There is no option for EIS, which results in shaky footage. It has continuous autofocus when recording using the rear camera, but there is no option for EIS, which results in shaky footage. The J series aims to offer the Samsung experience at a lower price point. The Infinity display does grab eyeballs and the phone feels solidly built. Both the camera setups perform decently, and some of the features like chat over video are useful if you really love to multitask. The battery life is the strongest weapon in the J8's arsenal. However, it feels like Samsung has cut a lot of corners on the J8. Its Infinity display sports HD Plus resolution only, making pixels visible when you look at this big display. It misses out on an ambient light sensor and a magnetometer, which is unacceptable at the price it commands. We have seen more powerful processors at lower price segments, making it hard for the Galaxy J8 to justify its price tag. If you are looking for a smartphone in the sub 20,000 rupee segment, you should take a look at the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro, the Oppo F7 and the Nokia 6 2018 instead. So that was our review of the Samsung Galaxy J8. What do you think about the device? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, for all things tech, stay tuned to gadgets360.com.